calls her and Weddy, you know. Oh my gosh, guys, did I just make up a name for them? Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing okay and everyone is doing well. Guys, I'm in shock. Okay, I know we need to get through this review, but I'm so in shock with this whole Medhi and Whitney. I'm so surprised. I don't know what to say right now. I don't know what to say, but as I usually end, I always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe, and if you're in the family, we are on the road to 30k. I don't know that's right. So yeah, if you are loving these daily reviews, please be sure to subscribe and join the family. Also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. And number three, like I usually and always say, please get cozy and comfy with a cold drink, because like you guys know, it is boiling here in the UK. Today I have a green smoothie, yeah, and it looks good and it tastes great as well. But yeah, get cozy and comfy with a nice drink, some snacks, and let's get into today's review. So let's start off with a follow-up from the whole Jess and Sammy convo. If you haven't watched yesterday's review, just go and watch it. Everything I say still stands. I think Sammy, personally, he just used the whole voting system with the public to basically make up his mind, okay? He did already let us know before that, oh, only Jess's personality, Leah's this, I'm gravitating, Leah that, da, 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 da. All of a sudden, the public vote, and oh, yep, Jess is you that I want to get to it. Like, no one's silly, all right? We've seen the script over for 10 seasons now, all right? You're not the first, and you most certainly won't be the last. But of course, they were having a heated discussion. He ended up walking away and then circling back. Very interesting. You guys don't know how I feel about Sammy. I won't lie. I've made this very clear. I genuinely feel like Sammy thinks he functions in main character syndrome, but it is given villa furniture. Okay, I already told you that. But of course, Jess was also speaking to Mitch and Whitney, and she said that she feels like the way that he's acting is because he doesn't know how to communicate, and it is his conscience which is basically eating him up. He then came back, and then he said that he's been 100% with Jess, and he's basically said that, oh, I've already known that it was over with Leah, blah, blah, blah. Very interesting, but Jess started getting irritated again, and she was like, you know what, I've heard two sides to the story, I'm going to invite Leah over. So then she invites Leah over. Leah now comes and says, I just feel like you didn't apologise. I feel like you communicated wrongly, telling me this, doing this, blah, blah, blah. Sammy ended up apologising, but like I said, I feel like we should honestly just wrap this storyline up. I'm gutted that Andre's not in that villa, because I cannot believe we kicked Andre out to leave Sammy to do all of this. I'm gutted, guys. Sammy is taking up space in that villa. I'm so sorry. He needs to go, and he's running on borrowed time. A lot of borrowed time. Now, of course, they ended up getting a text that the Hideaway is open. And guys, I was a bit shocked. I won't lie. I didn't actually think any couple deserved to be in that Hideaway. I'm so sorry. Like, honestly, I didn't even think any of the couples should have been in the Hideaway. But we know that they ended up choosing Ella and Tyrique, which says a lot that Ella and Tyrique are literally our strongest couple. Guys, so much is going on in this season. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to end. But of course, Ella and Tyrique were chosen. What made me laugh was Whitney was like to Ella, oh, I've got a headband if you want. And Ella was like, it's not that type of party. But I won't lie, I think Ella looked amazing. Sis's body is set good. I mean, oh, Tyrique was looking good as well. Guys, do you know what's so crazy? Like, people are saying that Tyrique has like a 90s handsomeness about him. I don't know what it is, but Tyrique is a very good looking guy. He's so good looking. Yeah. So I understand where Ella is coming from, but I think they actually do look really good together. But of course, they went to the Hideaway, a little kiss, a little massage here and there, a little eye contact, a little smoochy smoochy. I had to scream because the producers zoomed in on Tyrique's toes curling. I don't know if you signed that off. Okay, I don't know why they've done that, but yeah, I honestly feel like Ella, because I think she said to him as well, like, oh, you know, there's nothing I'll change about you. Ella is, her head is in the clouds, literally so far gone. I don't know, I feel like Tyrique and Ella are very toxic, but for some reason they work together. It's like Tyrique gives Ella energy, Ella gives Tyrique energy. I don't know what it is, but they low-key suit. I'm so sorry. Toxic, but they suit. Now, of course, the following morning, the Islanders asked them as they were making their grand entrance back into the bedroom what happened, and she just said just a few kisses and a few massages. I know a lot of people on Twitter were speculating that Sis was going to be 101, but they said kisses and massages. We'll talk about the breakup chats. No, we'll talk about the chat breakups. Yeah, sorry guys, my English is actually in the bin right now. But Ella was saying to the girls that what Tyrique basically said about her and that how much he really likes her, and she was very happy to hear it. Guys, this is what I mean. Like, Ella's head is so gone. I need you guys to understand this. Sis is whipped, and I don't think anything is bringing her back. Okay? Tyrique, of course, doing the same to the guys. Medhi was talking about Whitney, and I'm really going to get into Medhi later on again, and also at the end, clearly. But I just feel like I'm just a bit tired. I'm a bit bored of it. It's like Medhi was saying, oh yeah, you know, I just kind of feel like she laughed and she this and she that. She already explained to you that she was shy yesterday. I mean, let it go. It seems like he keeps trying to look for things to dig at her personality. And obviously, we're not in the villa, but from what we see, Whitney is a babe. Like, she's fun and she's bubbly. She knows how to communicate. The Islanders seem to really like her. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's definitely a people's person. And it seems like all the things that Medhi used to like about her now is a problem. Oh, you're loud. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Like, I keep telling you guys that I genuinely just feel like Medhi's looking for a storyline, because I don't understand why he's still bringing up this topic. It's very boring. And he still does it in the episode as well, but we'll get into that shortly as well. Molly was talking to Catherine and Leah about how happy she is with Zach. Not really much to say other than the fact that I just wish the producers will stop this whole splitting up of the breakfast talks. I mean, it was enjoyable and sometimes, but it was interesting to watch, at least when all the girls were together and all the guys were together. This whole split up with 3 people here, 4 people there. And the split ups are awkward as well, because I know Catherine doesn't want to be chatting about how she's feeling to Molly and Leah. So I just need them to make it make sense, okay? I just need them to make it make sense. And on top of that, Jess said that she is going to speak with Mitch, but we'll get into that nonsense all over again. Now, of course, Jess ended up speaking with Mitch about everything. And this is my problem with Mitch, right? We already know that Mitch is trying to make Sammy jealous at the fact that, oh yeah, I'm going to talk to your girl. And we know, of course, Mitch's chances in the villa with any of the girls is 0 to slim. It's even 0. Let's not even say slim. It's 0, right? So you're talking to Jess and you're like to Jess, oh yeah, like, oh, he's just young. He's just this. And he done the same with Molly, if you guys don't remember. He was like to Molly, listen, I'm older than you. But Mitch, you haven't showed signs of someone who is older and wiser, in case you don't know. He hasn't showed one sign. Everything Mitch does comes with an ick and a consequence. Every single thing. So you always saying, he's young, he's this. You haven't displayed anything any wiser than they have, babe. So stop using age as an excuse, because it's not working for you. So I don't understand why he was doing that. I genuinely just feel like he needs to find shame. He was also like to Jess, oh, you know, if I chose to become first, I would have 100%. Like, he needs to find shame. Mitch still hasn't found shame, and we're 13 episodes in. I'm shy. Okay, guys, I'm so shy for this guy. Of course, at the same time, Sammy was talking to the guys and he was like, he's not on Jess playing games. That's what she wants to do. That's what she wants to do. I think someone mentioned her age. I think they asked how old Jess is, and then he was like 22, and someone was like, Jess is 22. Because I also said this in one of my reviews when Scott came into the villa and Jess had her date with him. Guys, Jess looks so much older than 22. I mean, it's definitely given around 28, 29, which isn't a bad thing. Okay, sure, I'm going to be 28, 29 in a couple years, but still, at the end of the day, yeah, I do feel like Jess definitely does look older than her age. Now let's move over to Whitney and Medhi having a conversation. She apologized and she said it's given growth. She's better than me because I'm not apologizing, because we already spoke about it yesterday, but you can tell that Medhi was 100% still trying to hold a grudge. And he also said, what did he say? He said, oh, let's see if it happens again. Action speaks louder than words. I don't know why Medhi is so comfortable. I already tweeted it as well. Out of Medhi, Sammy and Mitch, I don't know who should go home first. Okay? I don't know who should be packing their bag to return back to the United of Kingdoms. Now let's move on to Jess and Sammy having a conversation. He said that he isn't here for playing games, and pulling Mitch for a chat is mug. Oh, sorry guys, I thought I saw a spider. Sorry, no. But yeah, pulling Mitch for a chat is muggy. They ended up apologizing and flirting, and then he said he's going to make up for it that night, and then they ended up smiling. I was about to say kissing, but they ended up smiling. In all honesty, I just feel like I'm over it. That's what I'm going to say now. I'm not even going to give my 2 pence on it. I'm over the whole conversation. I'm over the storyline. Sammy, you were caught out in your game. I need Jess to shine her eyes and literally let this man go. Not necessarily for Mitch, but it looks like that's what's going to happen anyway. But at the same time, Mitch then decided to pull Jess for a chat, saying that this should be your honeymoon period. You know, if you're seeing stuff like this happening now, then that's obviously a red flag. And like I said, I just need Mitch to find shame, because we are 13 episodes in and he has not found 1 ounce. Okay, Mitch hasn't found an ounce of shame. And I already tweeted this, and I said this in one of my reviews as well. Mitch went from being an okayish guy to just coming across as being like kind of like a desperate loser. And I know that sounds really harsh, guys. I'm not trying to be harsh, but it's just given real beggar energy, and beggar energy is not attractive from anybody. So I just need Mitch to just lower everything down and just play it cool. But he has reached such a peak, I don't think he could come down from that mountain. Okay? I don't think. It's given harassment. It's not even flirting at this point. It's honestly given harassment. Now, of course, we guys know the Islanders ended up getting a text that it was time for the game, shipulationships. And guys, the producers are really producing. Yes, they are. I don't know why I said it like that. But the producers are really producing, because these games are given. And I'm not saying like, because with the game, I'm going to get into it anyway with some of the key points. But I do I prefer games like this? Yeah, I think I do, because some of the challenges I really don't care about, but I've actually been enjoying some of the challenges that, yeah, I don't think there's one challenge that I've been like to. All of the challenges have given us some tea in one shape or form. So let us get into some of the tea with some of the questions. I'm not going to go about why am I stuttering? I'm not going to mention all of the questions because I love Jesus and I still speak about faith, and I'm just not here for some of the questions, all right? But we'll get into which islander is the most which islander is the least trustworthy. A lot of them voted for Mitch. Mitch took it on his chin as well. I think even he said in his confession was like, oh, I think it's because of the Molly's issue. So I'm glad that he knows, because Mitch doesn't give me someone that's trustworthy. Sorry. Which couple is playing at the biggest game? Scott said Sammy and Jess. Catherine said Zach and Molly. LOL, absolutely screaming. I know you forget that Catherine and Zach were even a thing. And a lot of them also said Zach and Molly as well. The camera, of course, was panning to Molly, and sis didn't look happy. She didn't look pleased. I don't know if I feel like Molly can take constructive criticism, because this is also down to the other game where I think Whitney gave her the high five for being like the least trustworthy islander or something like that. And then she was just like, Whitney, was it you that said? Well, yeah, she was screwing up her face, but very interesting, because I actually think Zach and Molly really think they're like strong, which is very interesting. The next one was about people lying in the villa. Of course, Sammy gave a long speech. It was just giving, you know when your conscience is just biting your bum like this, just biting your nyash. Okay, Sammy just started giving one long speech about this and that and that, and Tyrique was like, say names, bro. And he's like, what? He just said, yeah, like, you're talking a lot, say names. And he's just like, I'm speaking about everybody. But for me, that was Tyrique just being like, speak with your chest. If you want to tear someone's singlet, tear it right now, we can discuss it after. But Sammy's not about that. Okay, he really isn't. Which couple have the least sexual chemistry? Majority of them, if not all of them, actually voted for Medhi and Whitney, and I'm screaming because even Whitney voted for herself. Okay, which is why the ending confused me, guys, but we'll get into it shortly. But the fact that Whitney even voted for them actually made me chuckle. Jess even said sorry, and she was just like, don't be, babe. So like I said, that's why the ending shocked me so much, because all this time I genuinely feel like Whitney and Medhi have been playing a game, but I guess not. Anyway, all in all, Sammy and Jess ended up winning. Now we'll discuss some of the aftermath discussion, of the game. Tyrique, of course, was speaking to the guys. I'm just like, yeah, like, he could have just spoken up. Why is he indirecting? Why is he beating around the bush? And I hear it, like, Sammy, you're singing a lot, but I'm not hearing any lyrics, and you're not hitting the notes. So just be open and honest with it. Like, the worst we can do is tear your singer and give you a new one. Do you get what I mean? So it wasn't really that deep. Whitney, of course, was speaking to the girls, and she said that, of course, her and Weddy, you know. Oh my gosh, guys, did I just make up a name for them? Guys, I think anyway, if you're on that ship, let me know, boy. But Whitney was saying that, of course, her and Medhi aren't each other's types, and they are very different, and that he is a slow burner. I personally took that as she doesn't actually really like him, but like I said, we'll get into the ending shortly. Medhi was also talking too, and was speaking to the guys about how Whitney was laughing during his speech. I just don't get why he keeps bringing this up. Like, we're now almost 2 days after that speech, or 1 day, whatever. We've spoken about it numerous times. We've apologized. You've accepted my apology. Why are you still bringing this? This is what I mean. I genuinely just feel like Medhi was looking for a storyline, and he doesn't have it, okay, because we're tired. He doesn't have a storyline. Now let's move on to the night time. Whitney gave the cheers, and you guys know I already love Whitney, but she did cheers to more light, more memories, and more entanglement, honey. So Catherine, we'll start with Catherine. So she said she expected Molly and Zach to win, and then Molly was saying, this is while they're getting ready, right? And then Molly was like, oh yeah, we don't talk about stuff like that, i.e. we don't speak about things that they asked for in the challenge. Very interesting. I feel like she's starting to deep that maybe I don't know enough about this guy, and it just goes back to my theory as to what I said a couple episodes ago, that I feel like Molly and Zach have a lot of sexual chemistry, but it doesn't pass that. I just see lust in their eyes whenever they look at each other, which is very interesting. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know if you agree, disagree down below. And anything else? No. So let's move on to Jess talking to Sammy, and she basically said that she feels like they've taken a step back and there's no trust. What was really weird, and this is something that I actually said before that I find Sammy quite creepy, was Sammy was actually smiling. So like literally Jess is like, I just feel like there isn't any trust, and he was just like, yeah. And I've just you guys already know how I feel about Sammy, and as a character he doesn't give enough for me, and that's just the honest truth. But of course Sammy then decided to switch it and ask about Mitch, and was like, oh, like, so what's going on with Mitch then? What a drink. Anyway, he was that was sweet. Anyway, he was like, what exactly is going on with Mitch? And Jess was like, yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm completely closed off. And that definitely triggers Sammy some more. And it's just annoying how Sorry guys, I need to stop. But yeah, it's just annoying how some of these guys are in the villa. Like, after doing everything you want to do, and you've been doing the absolute most, when you decide to settle down, the person that you're doing the most to also has to settle down as well. So he was like, I'm not going to lie to cheat. And she was just like, listen, I'm not going to say I'm closed off. Like, things have been rocky these past couple of days. So I just feel like he needs to relax. You literally just lock things off with Leah. Let Jess breathe, even if she has to breathe with the beggar Mitch, sadly. Okay, just let a girl breathe. Now let's move on to Whitney and Medhi talking. Guys, I don't know where this came from, but Medhi was like, you know, I value you, you're such a lovely girl, I appreciate how you are, I appreciate you in this villa, XYZ. And then of course she asked if he liked her, and he said he did, and then she ended up saying the same. And guys, it just goes back to what I said. Like, I don't know if Whitney's being serious or not. I don't know if she's playing a game, pulling string over our eyes, or she actually really likes this guy. And I'm scared. Okay? So, of course, we'll get back into them. But Scott and Catherine are having a conversation and talking about his options, right? And Scott essentially said that he feels like he gravitates towards Leah. There's just something about them. And guys, it goes up what I said. I don't think yesterday's review, but maybe... Was it yesterday's review? Or Friday's? I think maybe yesterday's, Sunday. Maybe Sunday, Friday, whichever. That this whole forcing the Scott and Catherine thing, I just knew it wasn't going to... The second Scott said that he's torn between Leah and Catherine, I already, like... I get people can like who they like, but when the range is so different, you have to look at them very interestingly. So I generally just feel like a lot of people try to force that, and I kind of just knew it wasn't happening. But at the same time, darn you people that decided Andre to... It wasn't even us... In a sense, it was. I also blame it on some other girls in the video that voted for Andre off. But darn you people, is Catherine going to catch a break? Like, I need them to send someone in for our good sis. I need them to send them in for her ASAP, okay? I said what I said, and I'm glad that it manifested, because we've seen the script before, guys. We've seen this script before. Do you remember Danny? Do you remember Aromatic? Do you remember Yewande? It's not the first time. Do you remember? It's not the first time, guys. We've seen this script before. So let everyone just, you know, turn those thinking caps on. Am I surprised? No, I'm sadly not surprised, but I do want someone to come in for Catherine. He, of course, ended up closing it off, and then Leah walked over like, oh, can I have a chat? And Catherine said, no, babe, you can come and take my place. Leah and Scott together, I'm getting dry oats with no milk. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting dry. And I think that's just because, I don't know, I'm getting dry. I haven't seen much of Leah personally, but she doesn't give me much in this villa, and that's my truth. But yeah, let me know if you agree, disagree down below. Let's move over to Whitney and Ella having a conversation, talking about how opposite her and Medhi are. And I think Ella was even just like, oh my gosh, like, he actually said he likes you. You said you like him. That's a really big thing. So, like I said, guys, I don't know what Whitney... I don't know what's going on, and I need people to break it down for me, because I actually just don't understand. But we'll get back into them again, because there are some other conversations that take place in the meantime. So we'll move briefly on to Mitch and Jess talking. He said that Sammy has been more jealous since they've been talking, and he was like, it's me time now. Like, even when I see you and him on the at the kitchen, I'm just like, no, Jess, don't do it. I'm for you. Guys, I'm so embarrassed by Mitch. I literally irk and get secondhand embarrassment as if I'm in his body whilst he's in that villa, and I don't think that's normal. Okay, I'm so embarrassed by Mitch, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so embarrassed. Do I feel like Jess is starting to like him? I do. You guys know Jess actually liked Mitch in the beginning of this season, literally the first couple episodes before Molly snatched him. But I just find Mitch so embarrassing, and it'll be a shame, because if they couple up, I think people are going to send Mitch home. Maybe they won't actually. Maybe they'll send Sammy first. But yeah, either way, I'm just not here for Mitch. I find him quite embarrassing right now, and I don't think Jess is going to friend zone him. So there is a potential that something could happen. All right, there's a big potential. We'll briefly move on to Molly and Zach talking. Not really much to discuss here, other than what I said before. I see a lot of sexual chemistry and tension between them, but I don't see anything past that. Even Molly, like the way Molly is looking down his eyes, is like, you need to come over here right now. Zach as well, one of you pointed this out in yesterday's review. I'm so sorry I forgot your name, but you commented that Zach actually doesn't know how to speak. He doesn't directly speak to people. Like, anytime he speaks to Molly or another girl, he's looking into the distance, like his eye contact is completely off. So that's very interesting. I don't know if he does that intentionally, or maybe, like I said, no, like my cousin said, sorry, in yesterday's review, that maybe he likes the chase and he likes the catch, and now that he has the chase slash catch, aka Molly, he may not be as interested as many people think he was. Now, last but not least, let's move over to Catherine and Whitney now talking, and then Medhi comes to interrupt and says, meet me at the terrace in 5. I said, hold on. What's going on here? Because everyone knows what happens on the terrace, honey. So of course Whitney ended up going on the terrace. They had a little conversation here and there, and then they ended up kissing. And guys, like I said, I don't know if I should take this seriously or not. I'm so sorry. I genuinely thought Whitney was playing a game. I think she actually likes him. That's what's going on. Is the Love Island world glitching? I'm so confused. But yeah, they ended up having a kiss, and she said that it's given French. Guys, I don't know what to say. I genuinely thought Whitney was joking. Like, I actually thought Whitney was joking, but I think sis actually likes her little French croissant, honey. Okay? So, let's see how that develops. Of course, we did get a glimpse for tomorrow's episode. Mainly, it's going to be centered around Sammy again. Boo, sigh, boo, tomato, boo. I just want them to wrap the storyline up because I just find Sammy quite annoying as a character, and I just feel like this is what always happens. We end up getting a main storyline and we forget the smaller storylines with other people. So I just want them to wrap it up, to be honest. Yeah, let's just wrap it up. But yeah, guys, I'd love to know what you guys actually thought of today's episode down below in the comments. As always, I love you, love you, love you so much. If you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and therefore join the family. But other than that, please have a lovely night. God bless you, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye.